go for them. And in terms of damage, they usually gain 25% extra damage. And oh dear, hitting the well laid down mine here. Of course, choke points and roads do combine right on nicely. And there you go. M8 with Veterancy 1 did not survive. A glorious victory for the 116th. And Riflemen being caught out in the open. The haystack, which might have been provided cover for them, cleared out. And what is this? Pineapple grenades. Absolutely fiendish. Killing a grenadier. And of course now the American assault will be that much more dangerous and lethal. Pineapple grenades being quite effective. Consider them bundle grenades, but cheaper and I think a little less explosive. But considering again the effectiveness, should not be underestimated at all, in particular now since they've been rendered a lot more accurate when thrown. And we're also seeing a Kampfkraft sent out, and Major Hans has also gone for Minesweepers most brilliantly. At the same time, I do believe he has given a medic kit for his pioneers, which does show why they're walking, since medic kits, while advantageous, and of course healing your troops also render them a lot slower while they are patching themselves up. Riflemen setting up right here in the building, going to catch these Volksgrenadiers in and around the nasty position. As of course, a lot of windows, but one is taken out, taking quite a bit of fire from all sides, in fact, right now. But a fresh assault moving in from the north as well, but it is stopped by a second MG42 while Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers lead the charge there. And Pioneers with Minesweepers continuing up here, not trying to perhaps sweep this area. We shall have to see how that goes. Volksgrenadiers marching here. Oh dear, moving too close. And 2 Volksgrenadiers are down. Veterancy 1 up though for infantry. And my goodness, another mine is hit. This is absolutely explosive. But again, it can't really show you what the well-placed mine really can do a difference. And of course, just laying them out in large numbers can of course also just generally increase success. And of course, increase frustration for your opponent. And what is this? Major Kreaken has gone for a sniper himself, hoping for perhaps a bit of counter-sniping, and of course he will have the advantage because the Wehrmacht commander doesn't know that his opponent has won. Of course, question is, will he be able to retain that advantage, or will he be blowing it right away? Certainly seems like he has trigger discipline under control. And of course, Hans is completely unaware of the situation. Riflemen and engineers pushing towards the west, while Grenadiers have secured the point. And we're also seeing the ever-present BAR being equipped for those Americans. And just as those Grenadiers were about to lay down some barbed wire, MG42 quickly taking up positions in the building again. Veterancy 1 for support infantry up as well, giving them a bit of self-healing, which is of course more or less basic for all Wehrmacht infantry, for veterancy for infantry support units. Veterancy 1 self-healing, slow but there. In most cases Veterancy 2 gives elite armor. In some cases it might be just some damage resistance of some sort in case of the Volksgrenadiers. And Veterancy 3 generally gives a health buff. Again, there are some differences in terms of things, can't remember them exactly at the moment. I think, for example, I do believe the MG42 at Veterancy 2 gains a bonus when in heavy cover. There you go. Sniper slowly pulling back. American launching a rather heavy assault. Lots of riflemen. Single sniper. Medic cut down, which of course means that a medic bunker is up with an MG42 in it. Riflemen charging in. And American sniper very close. Further Volksgrenadiers moving in. And the German sniper fires and is immediately taken up by the American sniper. Koenig is down. The MG42 in the medic bunker is still strong though. It is a bit exposed of course, but we have defensive veterancy, which of course makes them much more harder once a certain ability has been chosen, so not all bad, but at the same time it will be a big target. So that is something that has to be taken into mind. Further movements in the west as the Americans continue to push there. And Flak 88 is now available for the 116th Division. Question is, will they be choosing it or not? While the 4th is looking a bit pushed back. The anti-tank gun certainly not looking too good either, but riflemen charge in with the BARs forcing back the Grenadiers. And we are seeing BARs being positioned right here with some rifles. Good job. Still, this is going to be quite the strong point in the German defensive strategy, as defensive doctrine has of course chosen. Not a bad point either. Rather open spot, which of course will allow them to dominate this area. And of course the medic bunker right there will of course be of quite a help there. And now the Americans hit a German mine, but some riflemen are swift to move in and recover the dropped BIR, but still one American rifleman team is lost. Not looking too good, and instead he's investing heavily in snipers. I'd rather have suggested perhaps a medic station and some more riflemen, perhaps some mortars now to join in the fun, but no, apparently dual snipers. We shall have to see how that works out. In fact, let's go have a look at Kreaken, who has not chosen a single doctrinal ability yet or anything. Snipers now beginning to fire away at the Volksgrenadiers, who have received veterancy 2. In the case of the Volksgrenadiers, it means they are slightly harder to suppress, in fact, and take a little less damage. I do believe they also gain a bit longer visual range, I think, but that might have been changed. And another Volksgrenadier is hit, and they are all pulling back towards the medic bunker for reinforcements, since again is an advantage of some of the doctrinal abilities of the defensive doctrine. You can reinforce near bunkers. There was also a sort of item that allowed you that in Company of Heroes Online, but for some reason they removed that, which I thought was a bit silly, but there you go. MG42 setting up though. Grenadiers marching in under the aegis of the MG42, blasting away at those pesky American riflemen. Not looking too good, but a nice position, a nice advance, and we are seeing a German MG42 marching up, and we are seeing a counter-attack moving in from the northeast, but this MG bike is rather awfully close to the anti-tank gun, and there we go, completely cleared out. German infantry is in a rather nasty situation. Pineapple grenade going off, killing quite a few. Grenadiers moving in, though, to try and clear up the situation, dropping their own grenade on the anti-tank gun, but it is already cleared out, leaving them only to face the riflemen with the help of some Volksgrenadiers. Grenadiers pulling back, but the riflemen could be in a slightly unfortunate situation in the face of those Volksgrenadiers, and they are pulling back. Medic on the move. Will he be cut down? No, instead he is sniped. Apparently the snipers do have a thing with medics. One though I cannot say. And Pioneers, oh dear, cleared out, also losing the minesweeper team. That's certainly going to be quite a bit of a loss, but riflemen right here are stopped. But it's lacking some assets to actually deal with the infantry, all those snipers. And what is this? We are seeing a Panzer Command, no Sturm Armory, but going straight for the Panzer Command. Shall we see Austrians, Panthers, or Panzer IVs, or Knights Cross Soldiers? We shall have to see. Panzer IV would certainly be quite advantageous here. Interesting though, the American hasn't actually recruited this anti-tank gun, perhaps suspecting that his Wehrmacht opponent is going heavily for infantry, and of course so an anti-tank gun isn't of much use, but of course then again that also puts you rather in the open for something like, say, your opponent then going armor and surprising you like that. MG42 taking sniper fire, a bit exposed. Pack and Jeep moving right in front of it, but barely avoids the 50mm shell, and in fact moves about in the rear. Volksgrenadiers moving in, perhaps hoping to knock it out with a Panzerfaust. Looks like they might have the luck there. Yes, indeed, Panzerfaust. No, Jeep once more narrowly avoids it and spots the Panzer Command. At least I would imagine so. MG42 pulling back, further snipers, medics being sniped.
We are losing a sector.
I'm pretty sure some sort of Geneva Convention is being broken there. Of course, could just be easy trigger fingers. And we are seeing a slight movement in the west as Grenadiers are trying to seize as much territory as possible. Interesting.
Down to 300 points.
And we are seeing some upgrades for the supply yard. Not a bad choice, gives extra veterancy gain for your infantry, and of course also decreases manpower upkeep, so not a bad investment. Although I'd still suggest recruiting that anti-tank gun, and perhaps getting a medic station would really help in the long run. Riflemen engaging the Grenadiers right here. who shall be having the better position. The Grenadiers apparently pulling back, not wanting to fight riflemen in heavy cover. And we are seeing engineers joining in, flamethrower in hand. And the Grenadiers blow about a bit of cover, while further Grenadiers are joining in the fun as well. And she's up some positions behind this old oak tree. Not looking too good for the riflemen though, out in the open despite crouching and all that, since the Grenadiers are holding the better position, and with a Veteran C2 are gaining elite armor. There we go. Riflemen force back and the Grenadiers advance most dashingly. M8 though, no, Jeep on the move. Apparently the German was trying to replicate the success here by laying down another mine, but not much luck though. Damaging the engine of the Jeep though. And oh dear, Grenadiers hit a mine and are caught out in the open by a flamethrower and riflemen with BARs, prompting a rather hasty retreat from some of the Grenadiers, while the others continue to hunt down the Jeep with the almighty Panzerschreck. And they managed to blow it apart, sending the crew flying in all directions. One Grenadier catches on fire most horrifically, forcing the rest to retreat. Entire western area is open for an American push. We shall of course have to see if he will be applying pressure there. Snipers continuing in a nice move there. Forced to move towards the west quickly, since of course that was where most of the effort was. And we are seeing a Panzer IV Panzerkampfwagen 4. Not a bad choice at all. Quite nice range, quite nice high explosive shells, and of course also able to help if the American player does go for any Shermans or M10s. And 3 riflemen blown apart with a single shot. Glory be the Panzer IV. Of course forcing those riflemen out to retreat, and of course now he is quick to reman that anti-tank gun, having suddenly realized that oh dear, he has gotten armor. And of course quick to get a second anti-tank gun to help against this sudden appearance of German armor. And I do believe we will be seeing a second anti-tank gun out. MG42 trying to get out, but is sniped, leaving the MG42 in a slightly awkward position and unrecoverable. First Grenadiers though taking heavy sniper fire. These 2 snipers have in fact done quite a lot of damage. No counter sniper for Major Hans. Not that I blame him. With 2 snipers it's still going to end up as a bad piece of mathematics, as you'll most likely also use your sniper as the other one then proceeds to cover up the first one. And probably that Jeep we saw earlier was to actually help the snipers catch any German snipers that might be sent out, but of course Hans does not fall for that. And we are seeing a second Panzer IV, so we have now a small Panzer IV section. A few more Panzers and we might see a Panzer platoon. 57mm anti-tank gun inching forwards, ready to cover the area. A lot of command points though, and still no company chosen, no doctrine. Grenadiers hanging out near this Panzer IV. Pioneers moving in to offer repairs, and we are seeing Veteran C1 for armor. Veteran C1 for German armor is pretty much something you should always get, since it actually decreases damage taken by 25%. And so of course will be quite a huge help.